This video, we're going to try to see what type of trouble we can get into. Cobra brake swap. Let's do this. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Sasquatch Performance Garage. Today we are going to be working on the 89 Mustang, the Foxbody. Got the Cobra brake setup that I was showing you in that last video when we did all the coatings. Finally got some time to put it in the garage, and not only that, the garage roof is finished. So got all lights put in here, new roof so I can start putting stuff in here, and ACs. So this 100-degree heat that we have in South Texas right now, not a big deal for me at all. First thing we gotta do is put all the calipers together along with the master cylinder. We took all those apart to do the coatings, so we're gonna go ahead, put those back together, get them all greased up so that we don't have any issues with the rubber seals and the O-rings. Not only that, I do have my little friends in here, my buddies, helpers, whatever you wanna call them. Got my dog, a little girl named Sage. She is 9 years old. Me and my wife have had her since we pretty much first got together as boyfriend and girlfriend. And then we have Carter over there. He's always the one that's walking around. He's never still, never satisfied with anything. He's about 2.5 years old now, and he is an absolute terror. So, but I brought him into the garage because don't want to leave him in the house, don't want to leave him outside with the heat, and I can't leave him in the house because Carter will tear up everything. And if he's not with Sage, he really whines and all that stuff. So, I'm gonna go ahead and get rolling on this, guys. See you in a bit. Alright, so pretty much done with all putting the seals back in and rebuilding the calipers. Did run into one little hiccup where the dust boot of one of the pistons on the front calipers kind of tore. So I ordered a new set from O'Reilly's that's going to come in a little bit later today. So I'll just be able to put that dust boot on, throw that piston in, good to go. But this is what we're at right now as far as what we got. We have our rear brake caliper brackets here. This is where the dust shield mounts to with these 3 bolts here, along with the bracket for the rear caliper will bolt here with these anti-moan brackets. These are a taller one as far as from here to here. For the Cobra brake setup, we also have new front pads here. There's our brake, there's our rear dust shields for the brakes. Also have the Cobra front rotors. Again, these are coated for the most part on the hat, on the sides for the vanes so there's no corrosion. Then we have our rear rotors here. We have the brake master cylinder there, new hoses for the front calipers, power booster, and then we have our calipers and brackets of the rear calipers there and the front ones here. So now finally get to go ahead and start tearing apart the car. Shouldn't be too difficult, you know. I mean, I put this whole dang thing together, so I'll bring you guys along for the ride, and shouldn't be too bad. Let's get to it. Well, as you can see, got our passenger side here, and you know, you can see why I want to replace these. I mean, not only to do the upgrade to the 13-inch, but just look how rusty these are and all this. I mean, when I got this and when I put it together, like I said, I was in a really big hurry trying to get this done and ready for my wedding, and you know, I didn't paint anything, didn't coat anything or anything like that. And you know, now that I got some time, I'm wanting to, you know, make sure that it looks good. And so we're gonna go ahead, and that's why one of the main reasons why we're replacing this. Looks like we got some rubbing underneath here. I'm gonna check some stuff out, but also one little thing I noticed while we were in here is my wastegate right here, the pressure sensor that I have. I think it's broken. It's kind of twisting back and forth. Yeah, I don't really do anything with this to check the dome pressure on this. You know, obviously I haven't really messed with this because I haven't used the boost controller and looked at dome pressure or anything like that, so I haven't obviously noticed it's broken, but it's also worn down a little bit by the tire. So I'm assuming I probably hit this thing, at least the electrical portion, with the tire here, and you can see the rubbing right here, there, and there. Probably need to get a new pressure sensor there shortly if I want to go ahead and start, messing with that. But we're going to go ahead and start taking some of this off, and then this should be a pretty easy, straightforward thing. Just take off the line there and take the rest of the hydraulics off, and we're good to go. So let's do it. All right, we got our passenger side put on. Got the hose, everything, caliper all buttoned up, ready to go. We're gonna leave the wheel off right now because we still got to bleed the brakes once we're done with the master cylinder and all the other brake stuff. So, but looks really good. I cannot wait to put on the wheel and look at it through the wheel and do actually some braking with it, because it's going to be pretty badass with the ABS that I have on the car and everything else. It's going to be pretty awesome. So we're going to go ahead and start working on the back because we're still waiting on that dust boot seal for the other caliper on the front. We're going to go ahead and start with jacking it up. We're going to drain all the fluid out of the rear end, since I'm going to have to take the rear axles out to do that backing plate, and we'll go from there. All right, see you guys in a bit. Looking at our rear here, and as you can tell, same deal. We got rusted rotors, caliper. This bracket is somehow not rusted. It must have some sort of coating on it. But these are all reman parts, so you never know if you're gonna get all the same stuff or anything like that. So go ahead and pull this off. We're gonna be getting rid of this dust plate as well, and again, we're gonna get back in there to our differential. All right, we got our first new bracket on. One thing that is actually kind of cool but doesn't really matter is this is a billet aluminum from LMR SVE brand. So billet aluminum, and the dust shield, it's pretty much, from what I can measure, the exact same as the original one that came off the 95 Mustang that I did the swap with originally. But the old one is like a cast iron, so it actually saves a little bit of weight, but it doesn't really matter, like I said, because, well, you're putting bigger rotors on this thing, so the rotors are going to have more weight to them. And honestly, also the brackets for the caliper themselves will have a little bit more weight to them because they are a full-fledged bracket versus like an open bracket design like the old one. So gonna go over to the other side and get that put on. Try to button this up, put some more fluid back in the differential, and get it going. All right, so while we wait for, you all right? You good? All right, so while we wait for my wife to come back with some new wheel seals, along with the dust boot kit that she's picking up from O'Reilly's, we're gonna go ahead and start working on the master cylinder and the new brake booster. Brake booster is just fine, but obviously it's a little rusty. I'm trying to clean that stuff up. The new booster that we got is all painted black, so should have no issue with rust on it whatsoever. And we're gonna go ahead and start pulling this stuff out. One good thing that's made this swap pretty easy is when I built this car, I put all brand new stainless steel lines in it. Bought the lines for a 95 Mustang since I put the 95 Mustang ABS on it. Everything mounted up exactly how it would have in a 95. Only thing I had to do was modify the bracket and the mounting for putting it on the Foxbody, because the frame rails on the Foxbody did not have the provisions for the ABS. All right, so we're on day 2. Might be able to tell, changed up the dress a little bit, but had a date night last night, so I had to stop kind of early to get ready for date night. And so we're back at it this morning and ready to finish it up. Shouldn't be too hard. Looks like probably the hardest thing we're gonna have to deal with here is doing the brake booster, which is always never fun getting inside the car right there. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with that before I get dirty doing anything else. And see you guys in a bit. Kind of messed up a little bit as far as I didn't do my research as well as I thought I did. Kind of embarrassed about it because I do pride myself kind of on my research and making the best decision possible and knowing everything about what I needed to do. But the Cobra master cylinder, I got a 94-95 Cobra master cylinder, and I have 94 GT brakes on this car. The ports on the master cylinder are actually reversed. So on the GT master cylinder, the M12 is towards the front, the M10 is on the rear. On the Cobra master cylinder, it is reversed. So tried to make my own fittings on that, or I took off the old lines, cut them off, tried to flare it, but it's a stainless steel line and it's actually really hard to flare. With a flaring tool that I had, the line just kept slipping through the clamp, so couldn't do that. So found by Maximum Motorsports, gonna get it from LMR, so should have it within a couple days. The conversion lines to go from a 95 Cobra master cylinder to GT proportioning valve. Not a big issue, just kind of pushed me back a little bit. Other than that, the car is ready to bleed and ready to get going. So just kind of annoying that one little thing that I messed up on has put me back, a couple days. But all in all, it's not a big deal. Everything's pretty much finished on the car, so let you look at it real quick here. Got our front Cobra setup. Again, got all the coating, everything like that. Looks pretty good. Came out pretty nice. Same thing on the rear. Got that buttoned up. Redid the fluids on the differential, put the C-clips back in it. All that good stuff is good to go. Just kind of annoying. So I'll see you guys in just a little bit when I get those master cylinder lines in, and then we'll get this thing bled. We are back getting ready to bleed the car. I got the master cylinder to proportioning valve lines in from late model restoration by Maximum Motorsports. I think they might have been bent wrong. I actually had to do some rebending on them. They looked like they were mirror images of each other when they should have been opposite of each other, if that makes sense. The coil was both at the 10 millimeter side versus a 12 millimeter side, so I had to rebend it. But I got out my automatic bleeder and we are getting ready to do that. I'll show you my automatic bleeder here real quick. And so she's gonna be working on the pedal for me, giving instructions, hold down, I'm gonna pop the bleeder, let the fluid come out, close it off, and she's gonna pull back up on it and bring it along on each wheel. All right, see you guys in a bit. All right, everybody, we are back a few days after install, driven around a little bit, put some miles on it, broke the brakes in, and man, is it a world of difference. These Cobra brakes stop so much better, look so much better, and just give the car a totally different attitude and vibe when you look at it. Gonna give you a few close-ups of these brakes, show you what they look like. They are awesome. So let's look real quick here. So we got our fronts here, got my 18-inch SVE drift wheels, black, gloss black, and have that silver on the rotor hats along with the caliper. Caliper is a little dirty. I didn't really clean up too well after I was finished with it, but That's for a different time when we do actual car wash. So that's the fronts there. Let's look at our rears back here. Again, same thing. We got it painted all the way around. Good color on the rotor hat. Makes it look so much better in that caliper there. So again, that's what we have on the back here. So that's pretty much it, guys. I don't think we really talked about the brake pads actually too much, which are obviously one of the most important parts on this. We have some Power Stop brake pads up front, along with an O'Reilly Brake Best Select ceramics on the rear. Power Stops up front do a really awesome job. Still really good brake feel, even when it's cold. When it's hot, it actually starts grabbing a little bit more. This is still kind of a street style pad here. But overall, guys, really happy with this setup. Really happy with how it came out. Even we had a few hiccups along the way, but it worked out just fine and stops great. But again, appreciate y'all watching. Please consider like, subscribing, commenting to Sasquatch Performance Garage, and I will see y'all next time. Thanks.